Hopefully it sounds good. Hopefully it looks good too. Let me just promote it. Uh, Copy link. Sorry about that. I just had to promote it a bit just so people could come in. But now I promoted it. I have a dirty palette. Don't be like me where you let your paint dry up. At least let it clean it or whatever. Alright. Dry canvas, clean brush. Um what else? Hold on. Got some paint on my brush. Just clean that off a bit. Alright, let's get started. We're gonna dip regular 2-inch brush into some oil, and I'll start interacting with people once they start joining. Down. This is really dried up. Just a little bit of blue, phthalo blue. Okay, let's come up here. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I'll show you how you can fix it. I remembered afterwards, and after looking, I said I don't want it. So we're gonna fix that. So just going X marks, just blocking in the basic paint, and then clean off my knife. Pull out a little crimson into there. Tap it right into the brush. And I'm gonna try to blend it. There's not much paint in there, so I'm hoping I could blend that paint. I am hoping I can blend that paint right in. I didn't put much paint, but blue is very, very strong. So, yeah. Just a back and forth motion. Alright. I want like a sunset today. I think a sunset would be something different because we're always doing a regular painting, which is fine. You do it how you want your painting to be. Just like so. Just blocking in color. Okay, I'm gonna go into a little bit of bright red. Just a little bit. Just to sort of change the tone. Kind of like a transition in there. Rather than just from red to yellow and all that. So it's like a transition. And you see how it worked today? But if I were to put blue all over, that would have been harder to manage. Going back to some crimson. Just some crimson to really pop the top, make it stand out. Usually I don't get too much attention on my live streams, but after the live ends, that's when people start watching it. But I haven't gotten some attention on the recent ones, so we'll see how this one does. Alright, some crimson and phthalo blue, just to kind of help the two blend together. Okay, leave that brush to the side, and all I'm gonna do with a clean dry 2-inch brush is just blend color. Strokes of X's or 8, however you would like to think about it. And just like that, we have a nice little sunset. Now, I'm going to use a 1-inch, and I'm going to go into titanium white. I'm just going to break up that paint. Now, the reason why I'm breaking up the paint is because I let it dry. Now, let's come up here. And I think there's a big old cloud just that floats around there. Something like so. Now, the brush I use to blend out the color, I'm going to use to blend out the cloud. The corner of the brush, and you're just blending the base of the cloud. You don't want to blend out the top of the cloud. You're just blending out the base. Pull it up, go across. Now, if you want to make it pop a bit more, go into some titanium white with a fan brush and just go in circles. This will help the top pop out a bit more since you have a bit more control, and it's a second layer of white. So just like this, you could control the way your cloud looks of dark and light. All of that is controlled fairly quickly. Get off the axis, top corner of the brush, just the base of the cloud. And since we have different spots, what we're doing is we're focusing on the one closest and working our way back. People tend to want to use the bottom, but with the bottom, when you're blending, you can't see what you're blending. That's why use the top or put it to the side like I do, to sort of just be able to see better. Okay, just like that, we have something nice going on there. Now, I'm gonna go ahead, tap a little bit of cadmium yellow into my brush with a dab of medium. Pure cadmium yellow. Tap it both sides in the brush, something like so. Hopefully you guys could see it. Let's come up here. And I just want some still water. And if we choose at the end, we don't want this water, we just cover it back up. You don't have to commit. Just like nowadays, how you don't have to commit in a relationship. Nah, I'm kidding. Now, you're probably saying that's not water. It'll come together piece by piece. You just have to trust the process. A little bit of bright red, and let's just put in that bright red. Just pulling in. Doesn't really matter. Something like so. Load up your brush with more paint. And do the same thing for the other side. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Going into a little bit of crimson, because we did put crimson. What the colors we put in the sky are the colors I'm trying to reflect. Maybe that'll help you understand or grasp it better. The crimson is basically there just to darken it up a bit, bring it together. I was told one time that doesn't look like a realistic landscape painting, and I said, well, I don't do realism. That's not what I do. That's true. We're not focusing on how realistic it looks. It's just being able to paint a landscape. There's like the basics. There we go. And a little bit of phthalo blue. Load it onto your brush. And this will make everything come back together. Now I need some more blue. Dip my brush in slight oil or medium, whatever you call it. Oh, that turned out pretty dark. We're gonna have to manually lighten it. Welcome to the person who joined. Sucks I can't see who joins. I just see a person join. And just bring everything together here. Just bringing it together. The colors kind of don't combine well. They're just there. But we fix it in a later stage. First, right now, it's like you're basically just blocking in the color. Now can you start to see a bit some of that imagery of water? If you can't, that's totally okay. I'll come together in a bit more. Okay, so I have these messy colors. I'm going to go into some titanium white and just add some white. And you could go back and forth if you want it more blue, more, because the colors do tend to blend depending if you use medium or not. And so if it turns a shade of blue you don't like, you can add white and go back with some blue again. That's what I usually do. And you can go back with some lighter color. It's just going back and forth basically. But it's until one is truly satisfied. So just going back and forth. And you could kind of blend the colors. Just a little bit of white as well. Just like so. Kind of helps bring everything together. Now whatever you do to one side, you gotta do to the other. So the white is like a base coat if you think about it. It's like a fresh start, like if there's no paint there. But you put the blue to have some undertone as well. It gets complicated at times, but you still want to continue whether it gets complicated or not. Although sometimes it gets a little frustrating. You'll manage through. I believe in you. Just blending in that color. And just bring it together. Now, with another clean 2-inch brush. I've been dirtying all my brushes. Notice that? Just going back and forth. Repeat it again to get the axis off. You can repeat it as many times as you want. Now, let's go ahead. What should I do today? You do up to so many paintings where you kind of just lose a sense of where to start, where to finish, and everything. So I'm going to pure mountain mixture, tap it into my 2-inch. Let's come up here. Let's do some land. Just like so. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go into a little bit of cadmium yellow to be able to highlight it and just tap a basic little highlight. So simple. Welcome to the people joining. I wish YouTube announced when someone joined so I could be aware of it, because 1 second maybe there's not people and another second they're there already, and I don't even know who it is or what time they joined. It just shows they joined. Okay, I'm gonna go into a little bit of oil, little bit of medium, little bit of oil. Let's come up here. And just pull. Just grab and pull. Grab it, pull it. Now, with the clean, dry 2-inch brush, all you do, pull a bit more if you like, doesn't matter. And go across so lightly. Now I want to go back here, put in a bit more distant, well, not distant, I want to put some grass looks. Let's see how long it takes the channel to get to 100 subscribers. We're almost there. Let's see if we can meet that goal. So just a little bit, just scrubbing it on. You could probably hear how much pressure I'm using and scratching this. Okay. Now I'm gonna go into some white. Just pure white. It's a bit marbled with the mountain mixture. I'm not really looking for what looks to be dirt. I'm just looking for something to be there, in a way. Nothing too crazy. But you mix up the color you like. I'm gonna start doing this channel ASMR. No, I'm kidding. Now, I don't like the straight lines, so I just break up those straight lines with the grass highlights. Now, all I'm gonna do, grab some white, pull across, get a little roll of paint, just a little roll, and we could come up here and just sort of tap, slide. As long as you get the paint on there, that's all that matters. Okay, let's come up here, wisp it. You just need a light, something light. Doesn't really matter. Now, some mountain mixture. Pintura oscura. No, I'm kidding. Just right in the brush. Let's come up here. I think there lives some land there. And maybe some reflections in there as well. Now, I'm gonna just look at it from a distance. Okay, I think I know where I'm going with it. Most of the time I tell myself that just to have a bit more confidence in myself. It's okay to do that. There's no problem with that. I just load it up with some cadmium yellow into my brush. Let's come up here and just tap it. Tap, tap, tap. And you could just pull lightly. So gentle, so gentle. I'm gonna come back to the top and reaffirm my extra highlights. Okay. Now, what I'm gonna do with the clean 2-inch brush, pull a bit, like lightly, go across. Now, go again with some mountain mixture. Just scratch it in. Something so simple. Now I'm gonna go back little, maybe they're not rocks, maybe they're pebbles, and is the reason why they're gray. You can make up these stories. Doesn't matter. Now load up a bit more yellow. I don't like when it has straight lines, but it's just preference. Everyone can do their painting their own way. Some white. How much time? Okay. I should probably end this in a bit. Now, what can I do to make this come all together? Okay, I think I know where I'm going. I think I actually do know this time. Some mountain mixture. Maybe some land that grew on here. Something like so. Scrub it on, doesn't matter. I'm gonna thin out my paint just a bit, just so it's easier to apply on, so it runs more quicker, meaning I spend less time loading my brush and all that. Okay, let's go into some cadmium yellow. El color amarillo. Just load it up both sides and just tap it. Tap, tap, tap. This might have you reload your brush constantly. It is a sunset painting today. Nice little sunset. Now, when the paint dries, what you can do is you can add on more paint so it won't blend as much. Something like so. Just load up my brush and repeat the steps. Just go back and forth. What do you guys think? Should I put in a big old tree, big old orange tree that lives up in the corner? I know I said I know where I'm going with this, but I want to see what you guys think. Just like so. Okay. Well, I think I'm gonna put a big old tree. Wouldn't be one of my paintings without a big old tree. Let's come up here. Just get crazy with it. Doesn't matter the shape, the color, as long as it's dark, it's okay. Just tap it. Now, I'm gonna go with some with my fan brush, some black and white, making me like a blue grayish. Just a little tree trunk. And look at this. So simple. With the corner of your brush, all I'm doing is tapping. Don't hide all the dark color though. The dark color is what separates it. The dark color is what helps us separate and distinguish the tree. Now, since it's a sunset, let's get crazy. Look at this, look at this. This, so easily, you can turn some of it orange just by mixing up some red in there. And it'll turn orange. Or, here's a sparkler. Just put some bright red. Just like so. Alright, last thing before I sign off today's painting. Let's go ahead. Let's get crazy today. With the 2-inch brush. For beginners, I recommend the 1-inch since it's smaller. But look at this. Pop in basic little bush. Well, that's not little. But pop in that bush. If you don't want a bush, you don't need a bush. That's a huge, huge bush there. Okay. Let me just add a bit more paint to my palette. Load up. And just with no pressure, you should be able to, that paint should be able to stick on. You shouldn't have to put enough pressure in there. What do you guys think? Next Friday, by the time this paint will be dry, should I go over it again and add more paint to show you guys how you could improve the painting? It'd be a nice, interesting one. At least I think it would. Okay. A little red in there. Ooh, that's bright. Alright, look. With the palette knife, you can scratch in a few little sticks, twigs. Maybe a big old tree trunk that's scratched in. Few little water ripples just by scratching it in. But I think that's it. Just like that, we have a completed painting. I'm gonna back this up a bit now that I'm done. But just like that, nice completed painting. And I hope you join me next Friday. I'm gonna let this painting dry, and next Friday I'm gonna add more paint to enhance the painting, so you guys could see how to improve maybe a painting rather than just have it there and don't know what to do. So until then, well, I'm gonna see if someone comments just to see if anyone wants to chat. But the video's over. Thank you guys for joining. And if anyone has any questions or comments, or just wants to chat for a while, feel free to leave them in the chat. I'm gonna wait a little bit. If not, I'm gonna hop off. I gotta do some things, but I'll wait a couple minutes. So yeah. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this painting. Nice little sunset. Well, oh, someone said nice. Alright. Can you hear me? Oh, it wasn't on noise cancellation. I'm gonna actually unclip my mic and have it closer up so you could hear me better. Alright. They said it's always a 10. Thank you, thank you. But next Friday, I will be improving the painting. Once it dries, the colors won't blend as much. So, yeah. By the way, for anyone here still, the painting's over. I'm not gonna paint anymore, but I will be answering any questions or comments you guys might have. Voy a estar contestando unas preguntas, tal vez. Um, I notice not everyone that watches me is from the US. That's why I'm trying to speak a little Spanish, but not change it too much. Anything else before I log off today? Let's get a nice close up of that. All right. Well, I think we're gonna end it off here. Sorry, I left it a bit crooked, but I'm gonna end it off here. And I'll see you guys next Friday if you guys join. And until then, take care.